All right, everybody, mic check. Mic check. Hi, everybody. We are here in City Hall, Los Angeles, celebrating the 10th anniversary of Occupy Wall Street in solidarity with our friends in Zuccotti Park. This is ACT TV, and we are here with some of the OGs from Occupy Los Angeles. What's up, Occupy Los Angeles? Let's see that flag. Let's get that flag waving. So just want to introduce a few comrades, a few 99%ers. Anna, who held the permit in Los Angeles in 2011, just going to tell you a little bit about what it was like.
2011, no?
Yeah, what was it like in 2011?
Oh, 2011. It was exciting to see that people can organize and learn about our rights. We have freedom, and we must exercise our freedom. Enough. Corporations are not people, but elected officials are making corporations like they're better than us, the people. We are the 99, the people who pay taxes, not the corporations. Thank you very much. Occupy has the awareness for everybody. Keep organizing, we can do it. Thank you.
All right. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
All right, and we have Don Lowe. Don Lowe has a few words.
Yeah, hi. When Occupy LA was here, I was taking care of a cancer patient, and I was watching a lot of friends struggle trying to find a job. So a lot of us were desperate, and Occupy LA gave me hope. It also showed me a new way of building community, a way of speaking up for ourselves and speaking up to the powers that be, and to have that courage. And the thing is, we're going to get our leaders to listen to us for what?
Yeah. Did that happen?
No.
Speaking of which, I want to introduce a comrade who is on the ground. He is now the vice mayor of Culver City. His name is Dr. Daniel Lee. Mic check.
Mic check. Greetings, comrades. I'm going to be really brief. It's very great to be here. Looking back on Occupy, I just want to remind people of what happened and what spurred the movement to start, and what we need to do, what we need to get done, what our unfinished business is. 2007, 2008, we had one of the worst financial crises in the history of our country. What resulted was the further consolidation of money and power in the hands of fewer and fewer banks, and that's what spurred Occupy. But guess what? After we bailed out all of the banks, that money and power was further concentrated. So when we were talking about the 99% of the 1% before, in 2011, I feel like at this point we got to talk about the 99.96254.8% and whatever percentage it is, because money and power is even more concentrated than it has been before. We've had some surface level wins in terms of climate change, in terms of lackluster police reform, but 4 people each day still die on the streets of Los Angeles, or unhoused people. Other people die in other conditions. But we have enough money to build housing. We have enough money to have single-payer health care for everyone in this country. We have enough money to house everyone, but also to feed everyone. We just don't do it. We don't have the political will. Occupy shows that people can rise up and get things done. As someone else said before, it's what spurred Bernie Sanders. It's what spurred climate movements like Extinction Rebellion and the Sunrise Movement. We have a lot more to do, but we've come a long, long way. I'm in elected office. I don't think that's what everybody should do, but we need people in the streets, whether or not they are elected. We need people in the streets so that we recognize the climate crisis for the extinction level event that it is, and we fucking do something about it. So I'm very happy to be here tonight with comrades from 10 years ago, but I want to see everyone else in the streets soon, because we have a lot more work to do. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, Daniel, one more thing, follow up. Just talk a little bit about the repression you experienced. You got arrested out here, didn't you?
I got arrested out here. You may or may not have seen the photo. I weigh about 150 pounds. At that time, I think it was about 145. I was arrested by 4 police officers who each weighed about 220 pounds. Most of them were on my back. You might have seen the photo in the Los Angeles Times. I was really just around the final tent, making the final show of civil disobedience. I went to jail with about 300 other comrades, many of them journalists, who tried to tell the police officers that they were journalists but were arrested anyway. This was not unusual. It's something that happens on a cyclical basis in Los Angeles to activists who are fighting for immigrant rights, for Black Lives Matter, for the climate, and many other issues. It's repress, get sued, and then don't change our practices. We still have a huge policing problem in our country, in Los Angeles County, in the state of California. We need people with, we need to treat people with compassion, and we need to focus on care first, not cops. We need cops to actually solve crimes, violent crimes, and do other things. We need social workers, we need medical professionals, we need psychological professionals to do the other work of healing, which is what we need to do in this country.
Awesome. Yeah. And just a couple things from, what have we accomplished since then? I stood right here the night the cops raided us and watched over 1,000, maybe I think it was 1,500 stormtroopers, riot police, burst through these doors. It looked like a swarm of black wasps.
From the basement.
From the basement, that's right.
Right on these steps.
And it was astonishing to see the lengths that they went to repress us. And then in 2017, I stood on the same steps as a group of people, a group of LA activists, had pushed LA City Council to divest $8 billion from Wells Fargo. And I got to tell you, it was a trip to be on these same steps and remember that, and seeing the ghosts of the past. And since then, Occupy, like the corporate media, tried to push the narrative that Occupy failed. Not that far from the truth. Most of us never stopped. It was a radical political awakening. As Brother Daniel was saying, we're in the middle of a climate catastrophe, a climate apocalypse. We have 8 years to go carbon neutral or carbon negative. And Joe Biden is already greenlighting new fossil fuel extraction programs. We're green, and we have a super majority in California. We're still greenlighting fossil fuel programs. I want to say that next week, the youth climate strike is happening. The 24th, they're going to be out here occupying City Hall again. They're going to be out here in tents. The kids are standing up, not going to take it anymore. We're demanding climate justice. There's no reason in Los Angeles that we shouldn't have a 2,500 human health buffer. We shouldn't be banning fracking. We shouldn't be banning pipelines. There is no reason for it. We have the political power. Like Daniel said, we lack the political will. So I want to invite everybody to come out. Los Angeles, bring a tent. Little Dickie's going to be playing. What's up? Little Dickie's going to be playing. And now I want to introduce an amazing comrade. He's a comedian. He is on the front lines as a truth teller. He's just flown in, and I want to give you a warm welcome to Redacted Tonight's Lee Camp. I demanded there be a minimum of 2 dogs in the shot, so thank you. Thank you. And the dogs are in leopard skin, which is important. That's important. It is important we're here right now because, as has already been said, Occupy didn't go away. It spawned so many important things. I don't think you'd have the Bernie Sanders movement have happened without it. I don't think you'd have Black Lives Matter be as big without it. I don't think you would have seen the energy, quite the energy in Standing Rock. That doesn't mean those things wouldn't have existed, but the energy and the awareness that came out of Occupy has continued and has rippled across America, continued to ripple across America. And many of the problems, and we need continued protest because many of the problems that Occupy was addressing are still here and are worse. There are 15 million people facing eviction right now across America. 15 million people. Meanwhile, there are 17 million empty housing spaces in America. 17 million! That is the insanity of capitalism. We will put all these people fearing that they are going to be thrown out on the street. Meanwhile, we will have all these housing units sitting completely empty that could be lived in, that could be used. Maybe that's why Joe Biden's got an infrastructure plan. He wants to fix the bridges so that more people can live under them. Awesome. I'm excited. So they say $20 billion, billion with a B, is owed in back rent right now. $20 billion by Americans across the country. That is a rounding error for our Pentagon. That is nothing. That is a drop in the bucket. They spend that in a couple of days.
our U.S. government could pay off all of the back rent instantaneously, keep everyone in their home, and it wouldn't even be noticed by our Pentagon. $21 trillion of unaccounted for adjustments have happened at the Pentagon over the past 20 years. So, there are 7 Americans now that have $1 trillion in wealth. 7. We're trying to wrap your brain around $1 trillion. You can't do it. $1 trillion. If you make $40,000 a year, in order to make $1 trillion, it would take you 25 million years. Literally. That's not an exaggeration. Literally 25 million years. 7 Americans now have $1 trillion. During this pandemic, the rich have gotten richer, the poor have gotten poorer. Things are tenuous because we are in late stage collapsing capitalism. Okay? That is how this machine works. It churns people up, it sucks them of their life force, their labor, and then it spits them out onto the streets. And the answer that we get from the ruling elite is anti-camping laws. That's going to fix it, so that they don't have to step over the tents as they go to their fucking mansions.
Right.
Anyway, it's a vampiric system, all right? A vampiric system. It sucks the blood, it sucks the life force out of so many Americans. And actually, literally now, America is responsible for something like 70-80% of all paid blood donations, meaning we are literally like a vampire state. People are getting by giving their blood, their plasma and blood to the system, like literally now. This is a vampire that destroys people, sucks them dry and spits them out, and the rich have only gotten richer since Occupy. The inequality has only increased since Occupy. But I'll tell you one thing that hasn't increased since Occupy. Minimum wage. Still $7.25. $7.25 an hour, just like during Occupy. If minimum wage had kept up with what it was in 1968, it was like $1 something in 1968. If it had kept up, $1.25 or something. If it had kept up with buying power and income distribution, it would be over $21 an hour right now. But it hasn't. The rich have gotten richer, the poor have gotten poorer, and fucking minimum wage has stayed the same, stagnant. The system is meant to work this way. This is not an accident. This is how it's designed. Okay? Poverty is a choice of this system. It is not an accident. It's not a side effect. It's not an externality. It's a choice. It's how this system works. And when we were down there in Zuccotti Park, I was there on the first night. There were roughly 100 people, honestly, that stayed there after a certain hour. 100 people. And it ended up being one of the largest global protest movements that ever existed.
Yeah!
So you can start very small and have a massive impact long term. It was powerful, it was incredible, and down on Wall Street, and you've got to remember what Wall Street is. Wall Street is the dictionary definition of a Ponzi scheme. The dictionary the SEC's own definition of a Ponzi scheme is exactly what Wall Street is. If you look at a Google stock and what it says in the fine print, and you were to take it in and try and get money for it, they owe you less than a penny for your Google stock. It's 0.1, whatever, pennies. Stock is worthless until someone else buys it from you. You find new people to pay into the system. That is a Ponzi scheme until it all comes collapsing down. If people refuse to buy it from you, it is worthless and the system falls apart. It's a house of cards. However, there's a difference between a Ponzi scheme and Wall Street. In a Ponzi scheme, the people, the rich, the people that got rich from it, they get fucked at the end of it. In Wall Street, when it all collapses, they get bailed out. The banks get bailed out. The big insurance companies get bailed out. Even if they're caught killing hundreds of thousands of Americans like Purdue Pharma, they don't face any jail time. So they get bailed out in their own way. There's zero liability there. Meanwhile, someone stops an oil pipeline and we lock them up for 8 years, like Jessica Resnicek. Someone who's trying to save our future. So anyway, I'll wrap up here, but this is a system that is a vampire system that is sucking the lifeblood out of so many Americans. We have to move past it. We have to grow past capitalism. and it is run by an oligarchic group of sociopaths. You want to see a different system overnight? Have a sociopath test for everybody who's running things. All right, because none of them will pass. None of them will pass.
All right, Lee. I'm my brother. Yeah. Lee Kemp. Lee Kemp. All streets. All streets. All streets. All streets. All streets. So we have a message. Who are we? We are. We are. We are. We are. Slow that down a little bit. Yeah. We are the 99%, y'all. So giving a shout out to everyone standing in solidarity with Line 3. Brothers and sisters up at Line, get up to support Line 3. There's also going to be a Food and Water Watch action coming up soon. The Youth Climate Strike on the 24th and the 25th of September. What else are we missing? The Nabisco Strikers, stand up for your rights. Fight for public banking, fight for a minimum wage, fight for climate justice, racial justice, unhoused justice, LGBTQIA justice, gender justice, free the fucking weed! Free the weed! All right, everybody, mic check! Mic check! And I just want to say thank you everyone for tuning in, all the occupiers everywhere. Everywhere. And to the youngs out there, you don't know, it was a little bit different back in 2011. It was a little bit different organizing during the Obama administration. Wasn't everybody so woke? Okay, we had 7 wars happening, no one even cared. And now we have fundamentally changed and reshaped the American landscape. So I want to thank all my brothers, beautiful brothers and sisters. And we have one more brother who wants to come and give a mic check.
Two more, I'll be the last speaker.
Hi, I just want to say a few things about what Occupy is. Who I am isn't important. A lot of people know me. But I want to say a few things about what Occupy is, what it still is, not what it was, but what it still is. The thing is, what it was, if I want to use a metaphor, what Occupy was basically a traffic jam. It got noticed. It didn't move a lot, but it got noticed. We did get some things done, you know, like people in traffic jams get some things done. But the thing is, now that we're not in that position, we're still out there. We're still, you know, Occupy didn't go away. It just dispersed. And we were given dispersal orders when we had crowds, and we dispersed, and we came back, and we dispersed, and we came back, and we dispersed. I think the phone just died. I'm not sure. It said reconnecting something or other. Oh, is it back?
Yeah, I think we got to wrap it now.
Anyway, yeah, I better.
We got weed too, remember! Free the weed and end corporate greed. This is the 25th anniversary of Prop 215, and Dennis Perone and I gave away 4 pounds of weed and 2,000 spaghetti dinners 10 years ago right here in front of City Hall. And we'll be at the smoking at the White House July 4th, 2022. Free the weed and end corporate greed. Richard Eastman live with Occupy.
All right, everybody. Thank you for
Thanks.
joining us all.
Thanks, everyone.
Lots of love to our Occupy family and all the other families standing in solidarity. And ACT TV, we want to thank everything everybody at ACT TV was doing.
Working on changing things. Make
That's
things
right.
better.
All right, everybody.
Positive
Peace.
change. Work on it.